Okay, everybody, we are going to go ahead and start. I'm a little early, but we're going to go ahead and start this lesson. Welcome to the Intro to Singing course. It's your instructor, Cody Wyman, and in this lesson, we're going to talk about a whole bunch of intro to singing techniques. Now, first, we're going to talk about breathing, and breathing is very, very, very important. We do not want, one of the things we do not want to do, and this is the very first thing that all vocals should consist of, is breathing exercises. We do not want shoulders. This is what not to do. We don't want shoulders going up. We don't want breathing from our chest, like out with the chest. We don't want any of that. We don't want out with the neck. We don't want any of those kind of things, guttural sorts of noises. We don't want any of that stuff yet. What we want is we want to make sure that we are keeping in mind that there is this cylindrical or maybe even oval shaped breathing apparatus that we use to sing. And that starts with the bottom of our abdomen, our diaphragm. So ba, when we do our singing, when we do our uh, singing warm-ups, we don't go ba like that and just puff the air out before, or ba like that. We go we get a bunch of air from the bottom of our abdomen, the diaphragm, and we use that. Like that. We use diaphragm, and it goes up through our diaphragm, up through our lungs, and then out through our throats, out through our mouths, and then into the air. So that's how we do this. So tip number one, never, or I would say, don't, let's do always and not nevers. That's actually good. Always use diaphragm for proper vocal breathing. Whoops. Okay, so always use proper for the proper vocal breathing. You always use your diaphragm. So the way we normally do that is we do this. We're going to first just practice our breathing. We're going to go for 3 seconds. We're going to breathe in through our diaphragm, hold for 3 seconds, and then we're going to push out. Just exhale. Ready? Okay, breathe in. 1, 2, 3. Breathe out. Okay, let me show you. Again. We just breathe out. Yeah. And then we're going to up it to 5 seconds now. So up it to 5 seconds. So 5 seconds is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of breathing in and holding it. Then relax, and then exhale. So breathe in. You're going to feel the bottom of your abdomen start to tighten. So that's going to be that's perfectly normal. It's how it's supposed to happen. It's supposed to tighten and go kind of like an hourglass. It's going to go kind of up like that, like a filter. And then you're going to release. So keep trying. Okay, again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. Now, the longest we're going to try it is 8 seconds. And then we're going to go on to tip number 2. So now we're going to go 8 seconds. So we're going to go like this. Relax. And then again. And now you try on your own. 1, breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Release. And then one more time. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Release. Okay, so that's how we do that quick warm up, and it only took about 2 or 3 minutes to do the 3-second breathing in and releasing 5 seconds and the 8-second one. So you should by now have the diaphragm that's kind of warmed up and ready to start singing just really easy pitches. What I like to do is I like to just sing easy, and I don't like to sing really loud at first. Just get a nice round tone. Just use that diaphragm. It doesn't have to be loud, just nice and steady. The attack doesn't have to be big either. So once again, okay. So we don't want to stress our vocal cords too much in those first few times. We want to make sure we start out nice and easy. So start off nice and easy with the vocal. You don't want to overstress or overwork the vocal during warm-up. And that's very key because if you do, a lot of stuff can result. A lot of bad stuff can result, like overshooting. A lot of bad stuff can result like just tiring out. And I would always go from the bottommost range. So I would just do a 5-note warm-up with the voice really softly. And just really softly do that a few times. Okay. So tip 3, 5, sing a 5-note vocal warm-up on ooh and or Dynamics don't need to play a part. So they don't need to play a part in this one. We're just trying to get that tonal center and get those vocals warmed up. So you'll see the Adam's apple go up and down. That's just the pitch going up and down, and that's actually what it's supposed to do there. And then what you can do, if you can't do the 5-note one, you can also do each interval. You could just do each interval going up, second, third, fourth, fifth, until you feel like you can get those intervals right on. So tip 4, break it down. If you can't do the full 5-note warm up at once, do each interval separately. Second, third, fourth, fifth. So C to D, for example, ba, da, so you can do those kind of things. That way it actually will work. So go ahead and take those notes, take those tips to heart. So by now you should be at least 5 or 10 minutes into your vocal routine. From diaphragm and then vocal, easy. And then and if that's all you can do, that's fine. Okay, and then try the 5-note one. Now, for some of you, the 5-note one will probably be easier because each note you go up is only a second away. Whereas the previous one, the former one, you actually go back to the tonic, you actually go back to C, and you actually start on C with each one and go up to the interval in question. So C to D, C to E, C to F, C to G. So you kind of do a little bit of this, right? So that's a little bit more of how you would do those types of things. And then I would try to do it backwards. C to G, C to F, C to E, C to D, and then C to C, unison. Just keeping that air. Okay, ready? So C, G, C, F, C, E, C, D, C, C. And I would get in the habit of saying the note names because that would be good to help you with which pitch is which, okay? And how they go in the musical alphabet kind of thing. That would help you internalize those. Or if you want to go R, ooh, I'm going to go ooh on this one. So let's try just ooh, 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 ooh. So that's it. Now some of the vowel sounds you'll think are easier than others. For instance, I think ooh in some cases is easier than ah because ah is more ah, 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 it's a little bit more of an open, it's a lot more of an open sound, and then ooh is closed. So you have a lot more room and you don't have to force the lips open in an ooh vocal. So you don't have to have that open. You can just have it closed. So tip 5, try the 5-note C to G vocal warm up backwards. Nice and easy. So tell you the truth, we're not going super hard. We're not going forte. We're not doing any of those dynamic switches yet. And the reason is because we want to make sure our voice, our vocal cords are plenty comfortable. Because the last thing, like I said earlier, the last thing you want to do is overstress the voice in the beginning of the practice session. And if you overstress that voice, then cracking's going to come up. You're going to have a bunch of cracking, a bunch of overshooting, and a whole host of other problems that can come up. So you really want to take care and make sure that you properly warm up nice and easy as you go. Maybe throughout the day, maybe warm up in a harder fashion, like I like to somehow do. I like to do the da 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 in an easy style, da 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 first. Then I like the da da dee da da da. I like to gradually get louder as I go along. So tip number 6. So start out softly. At the beginning of the day, then get gradually louder and more intense as day goes on. So that's what we need to do with those. And just, rev up the, well, not rev up the dynamics, but move up the dynamics slowly. Don't go to da da from da da. I mean, you can, but it always works if you move it slightly, slowly, steadily. Those 3 S's. So you might want to mark those down in your notes. 3 S's, slightly, slowly, steadily. Go from piano to mezzo piano, which is moderately soft, to mezzo forte, to then forte, which is loud, and then Before you know it, you're double forte, and then that's about topping it off. All right, so there you go. You have, starting off breathing up exercise. You're starting with the 3-second breathing in, holding, and then breathing out. And then you're doing the same thing with the 5. And then you're doing the same thing with the 8-second. And then what we're doing is we're actually going and doing one pitch, just one easy pitch. And I just picked C because it's easily reachable in my range, in the baritone range. So I'm just going to go and just breathe in. Just keep that note going as long as you can before it goes. Okay, and then let's go and do or ooh, ooh. There you go. Okay, and then ooh, 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 ooh. So that's a hollow one to do, and then do it backwards. You would just start playing around with those ahs and oohs. All right. And then you start out softly, just like we were doing, and they get gradually louder as you go on, right? Okay. So that's how we vocalists warm up our vocal, or at least that's how I would start. And then I do have some vocal warm-up training exercises that I'd like to give my students here.